all of us, we have appendix. Okay, it is a normal true diverticulum of the cecum. However, it is prone to acute and chronic inflammation. So whenever there is inflammation of these appendix, we call it as appendicitis. Though there can be acute or chronic, okay, whenever we use the term appendicitis, it literally means that it is acute appendicitis. We are not worried so much about chronic appendicitis. It literally means acute appendicitis. It is the most common in adolescent and young people, okay, but it can occur in any age group, even in children or even in the elderly patient. You might come across with this appendicitis. The lifetime risk for appendicitis is 7%. See, so almost every one of us, we carry this risk that we can have appendicitis in our life. So the risk for appendicitis lifetime is 7%. And when you talk about the male and female sex predominance, more commonly seen in male, and though the prevalence of this acute appendicitis is very high, the diagnosis, preoperative diagnosis, let's say, it's very difficult. Okay, so it's just that with the clinical features and the history of the patient, what patient gives you, because of that, the surgeon usually they have to operate for this appendicitis. So very often the diagnosis is post-operative. Okay, before operation, before surgery, the diagnosis is usually not correct, or it's not possible in all the cases. In few cases, yes, you can diagnose before the surgery. And it may be confused with the mesenteric lymph node. Okay, there is mesenteric lymph node in the intra-abdominal cavity. So most of the time, the pain, okay, the pain of the acute appendicitis, because of that, we get confused with the pain of mesenteric lymphadenitis, and this mesenteric lymph node enlargement lymphadenitis is usually secondary to the infection, viral infection or Yersinia infection, okay, or enterocolitis because of something other bacterial infection. So in those inflammatory lesions of the GI, let's say bowel, what happened? There is enlargement of the mesenteric lymph node, okay, and the clinical features of these mesenteric lymph node also mimic acute appendicitis. And apart from this, you have to remember that there are many differential diagnoses for this acute appendicitis. So when you go to third year in surgery, I think they'll be talking more about this appendicitis from surgical and clinical point of view, because it has to differentiate it from other acute abdomen condition. These days, appendicitis surgeon has taken out the appendix. These days it comes out in media, this and that. So it's very important that there are so many differential diagnoses, and you need to differentiate it from those. And if clinical features, clinical signs and symptoms, if they are for acute appendicitis, you can always go ahead with the appendicectomy or the surgery. So what are the differential diagnoses? It is acute salpingitis. So if it is a female, okay, you can always think of acute salpingitis, that is inflammation of the fallopian tubes, or ectopic pregnancy. Okay, in ectopic pregnancy also you will have a severe that acute abdominal pain, or mitral smears pain. Okay, this is a pain which females usually they get in the mid-cycle, also called as mid-cycle pain. That is basically during the ovulation period. Okay, so in the mid-cycle, around 14-15 days also, some female they experience this pain. Okay, and this also looks very much similar to a pain due to appendicitis. Then pain due to inflammation of the Meckel divert. That okay, it can mimic acute appendicitis. So you need to rule out. Okay, okay, this cannot be ectopic, cannot be a colitis pain. Okay, all out, and then you have to think of about pathogenesis. Acute appendicitis is thought to be initiated by progressive increase in the intraluminal pressure. So I think all of you know how this appendix looks like. Okay, so what happened that intraluminal in the lumen, it is, after all, it is a part of the intestine, so it has a mucosa layer, it has submucosa, muscle, and the serosal layer, and it is like a small pipe. So when you cut it cross section, it shows the lumen. Okay, the circle lumen, uh, and there is, because of the inflammation, there is increase in the intraluminal pressure, and that compromises the venous blood outflow. Okay, and in 50% to 80% of the cases, this appendicitis is associated with increase over luminal obstruction. The obstruction will be there in the lumen. It can be either partial or full obstruction. Okay, and your obstruction kile garcha ta in the lumen. What is that thing which is causing this obstruction is एउटा त wall हुन्छ, because wall is thickened because of the inflammation, and in the lumen there will be fecalith. Okay, fecalith is the fecal material. Okay, that gets into the lumen and it appears like a small, hard, okay, stony like material, or sometimes it's like a gallstone. Sometimes it can be tumor of the appendix. Okay, tumor of the appendix le pani ke garcha, inflammation garcha, obstruction garcha. Basically there is obstruction, intraluminal pressure will be increased, there will be altered this venous outflow, blood outflow. So as a result there is inflammation. So primary cause could be tumor. Okay, tumor le garदाखेरि पनि appendix ma inflammation bhara appendicitis हुन सक्छ, or sometimes it can be worms, enterobius, oxyureasis vermicularis, or it can be there, ascariasis could be there. Okay, so worms haru pani ke huncha, lumen ma huna सक्छ. And then what happened after the inflammation, okay, in the appendix, there will be ischemic injury. Okay, so blood supply huna paena. So when there is no blood supply, there will be ischemia in the appendix. There will be stasis of the luminal content, the luminal content which is inside the lumen, it remains there. Okay, it gets collected there, more and more gets collected, expanded, and it causes the obstruction. Apart from that, there will be bacterial proliferation. Fecal material ma ke huncha? All those organisms will be there, unwanted food particles will be there. So there will be bacterial proliferation, which also triggers inflammation. Okay, so when inflammatory reaction is triggered, there will be edema, part of inflammation. You all know, I know first year ma, you read it about the inflammation, edema. So there will be edema, the intracellular tissues, there will be collection of the fluid. There, these neutrophilic collection, they will try to go towards the site of inflammation. So neutrophilic infiltration will be seen in the lumen. Okay, not only in the lumen, you can see it in the subserosa, in the muscle, and sometimes it can go up to the serosa and outside the appendix, that is in the periappendiceal fat. Morphology. So morphology, you should be aware. I don't know, I think you've done the gross and microscopic in first year practical. If not, it will be done in the second year. So in exams also, we will keep the gross specimen of appendicitis as well as the slide, microscopic, this picture of the appendicitis, we'll keep the slide. So you should be aware of the gross and microscopic findings. So in case of appendicitis, acute appendicitis, these subserosal blood vessels, they get congested as a part of inflammation. Okay, there will be neutrophilic infiltration around, in and around the blood vessels, in the lumen, throughout the wall of the appendix, and it can go even to the periappendiceal fatty tissue. Okay, so because of the inflammation, the serosa, it looks very dull, it looks granular, and it appears very hyperemic, red in color. Inflammation bhayपछि के हुन्छ, red, हैन, red in color. And but however, okay, that is not enough. Okay, sometimes during the surgery also, when the surgeons try to pull out the appendix, you can damage the serosal surface. That's why the finding which is there in the serosa is not enough to prove that the patient has appendicitis. So के गर्नुपर्छ, microscopic examination or histopathological examination of appendicectomy specimen, appendix, okay, is very important to confirm the diagnosis of appendicitis. So in that, what does it require? के हुनुपर्छ in microscopic examination? What should be there? Is there should be the neutrophilic collection in the lumen. Lumen you can have, okay, त्यसै normal appendix मा पनि हुन सक्छ किनभने there will be collection of ficholate, unwanted all these particles, food particles, okay, will be there in the lumen. So you can have neutrophils in the lumen, but that is not enough to prove appendicitis. Those neutrophilic collection, it has to be there in the submucosa, mucosa up to the serosa. Throughout the wall of the appendix, it should be present. Okay. In more severe cases, what happened? There will be the neutrophilic exudate. Okay, it will be there in the form of pus, abscess हुन्छ नि, pus, peep. So it will be there in the serosal surface. Okay, when these type of abscess they are in the wall or in the serosa of the appendix, grossly also you can say that it is a case of acute suppurative appendicitis. It is not only the inflammation of the appendix, it is acute, and see pus forming, abscess will be there in the wall of the appendix. So it is acute suppurative appendicitis. Features will be same. Patient will have the same features like appendicitis. Okay. Then another terminology you should be aware is acute gangrenous appendicitis. Okay. यहाँ के बात हो, pus मात्र form बात है abscess. यहाँ the gangrene नै भइसक्यो. Okay. So ulceration has occurred in the mucosa of the appendix. In that, it has gone beyond mucosa. It has extended up to the serosa. Ulceration has involved the wall of the appendix. It has involved the serosa, and you can see gangrene-like lesion in the appendicitis, in the appendix wall. Okay, so this also, in this condition also, the features are same, appendicitis. So without examination, without gross and microscopic examination, when it is in the pre-operative condition, you cannot say whether it is acute suppurative appendicitis or acute gangrenous appendicitis. Okay, till pre-operative phase, you can just say that it is acute appendicitis. But after the examination of the surgical specimen, you can say whether it is acute suppurative appendicitis or acute gangrenous appendicitis. Okay, so this acute gangrenous appendicitis is, okay, is very notorious. It can cause suppurative peritonitis. Okay, because of the hemorrhagic ulceration which is extending up to the serosa, के हुन्छ, perforation हुन्छ. Perforation भएपछि what happens? The fecal material which is there in the lumen, okay, or the neutrophilic abscess, okay, it comes out in the peritoneum and it causes peritonitis. So these are the complications of appendicitis. That is peritonitis, okay, perforation and peritonitis. Very common complication. That's why, because of these complications, okay, the condition can be very fatal. We need to operate the patient. Though it is not confirmed pre-operatively, we always take a chance and we operate so that patient do not have these complications, perforation and peritonitis. So this is the appendix C. You can see the congested blood vessels. Okay, this is the in the serosa. This is the outermost layer of the appendix. This is the base of the appendix from where it is separated. Okay, this is the tip of the appendix, and this is the periappendiceal fatty tissue. Fat. So the inflammation from lumen inside, okay, it can come up to the serosa, and sometimes it can involve this fat also. See, these are all the abscess in the serosa, pus. So much thickened, so dull looking, the outer surface. But still some blood vessel, see, dilated blood vessel, congested blood vessel is visible. This is the fat which is attached to the appendix. So the inflammation, it will not be limited to the appendix. It will get into these fatty tissue also. Okay. Here also so much of congestion is there. This is the base of the appendix. Okay, when you do surgery, you cut it from here. Base of the appendix once up. Okay. This is the tip. So you cut it here. This is the fatty tissue which is attached to the appendix. Okay. And this is how it looks under the microscope. Okay, whole cross section has not been covered in this photograph. This is the luminal part. You can see the collection of neutrophils here. This is the mucosa, your mucosa lining, okay? And these are the glands, GI glands. And you can see diffuse sheets of inflammation extending from the luminal surface, and it is going down. See, this is the mucosal surface. The infiltration is going down. Eta mucosa, submucosa, muscle, and then serosa. So apart from that, you are seeing the lymphoid follicles also. Hyperplasia of the lymphoid aggregate cells. Lymphoid follicles, this is the pale germinal center. Okay, it exactly look like the lymphoid follicles of the lymph node. Okay, that is also because of the inflammatory reaction. Okay, these lymphoid follicles also get dilated. There will be increased number of these lymphoid follicles. See, this is the luminal surface or the lumen. This is mucosa. When you go beyond this, you're going deeper toward the muscle and serosal layer. Here you are seeing the organism, eggs of the organism. Okay. So most often you see that this oxycularis, okay, formicularis, pinworm, or what you call in I think you also call it as threadworm. Layman pinworm, threadworm, very commonly. Sometimes you can see the roundworms also in the lumen. Okay. Now the clinical features. So how do the patient present when they have this appendicitis? They have this periumbilical pain. It starts with periumbilical pain that ultimately localizes, or it will go to the right lower quadrant. Pain ke huncha periumbilical bada it shift tala jancha, right lower quadrant ma jancha, and it is pain is followed by nausea, vomiting, and fever. Okay, so fever, nausea, vomiting aera, if the patient they go for the complete blood count workup, there will be increased WBC count, and in a few cases you can see increased neutrophilic count also. Okay, and I told you this pain, it from the periumbilical region, it goes to the right lower quadrant. So where it goes in the right lower quadrant, there is a point, okay, surgery they will tell you in more detail in the third year. There is a point called as McBurney's point. McBurney's point is where it is situated. It is situated in the 2/3. If you draw a line, okay, from the umbilicus, if you draw a line to the right anterior superior iliac spine, okay, straight line banaune umbilicus, from umbilicus to the right anterior superior iliac spine, and from umbilicus when you go towards the right anterior superior iliac spine, 2/3, okay, 2/3 of that straight line, if you mark it at the 2/3 point, okay, that is the McBurney's point. And these acute appendicitis patient, okay, when you palpate their abdomen at that particular point, at that McBurney's point, they will have tenderness, pain unsa. When you palpate the patient at the McBurney's point, and if you lift the hand here, okay, they will have a pain. They will have a severe pain, and they will say, like, they will shout. Patient will shout out of the pain. So if that pain is there, it is called as McBurney's sign positive. So most of the appendicitis, they have this McBurney's sign positive. But you cannot say, if McBurney's sign is not there, you cannot rule out appendicitis. Okay, so the only thing, the gold standard, the only thing you can confirm is by doing surgery and examining the appendix. That is a histopathological examination. And sometimes these signs and symptoms might be absent, okay, that also very difficult. And in some cases, the position of the appendix will also create problem. It will be retrocecal, the position where it is situated, okay, this appendix. This retrocecal appendix will cause right flank pain or pelvic pain as a general. So there will be no McBurney's sign positive. So it will be very difficult. It is due to some other pelvic cause, or it is due to appendicitis. Sometimes it will be malrotation of the colon. You might have heard about malrotation of the heart, all these things, no, colon. So it will be on the opposite side. So in that case, the pain will be in the left side, not in the right side. So for diagnosis, other causes needs to be ruled out. Okay. So all those differential diagnoses which we talked about in the slides, previous slides. So those causes has to be ruled out. You have to go for the abdominal examination of the patient, blood investigation, and nowadays this abdominal scan, okay, is helping a lot the surgeons to rule out appendicitis. Like you can even go for the ultrasound, okay, and sometimes if the patient is very reluctant to go for surgery, you can also tell the patient to go for CT scan of the abdomen. Okay, that is more sensitive, okay, compared to ultrasound and the clinical examination. So after doing that, also you can go for the surgery. And the significant amount of this number of morbidity and mortality is there, which is associated with the complication of the acute appendicitis. What are the complications? It is the perforation and peritonitis. So if the patient comes to you in the hospital already after perforation, okay, perforation भइसकेपछि आयो भने के हुन्छ, that will always carry the significant amount of this morbidity and mortality. Okay, so those are the complications. Other complications include pylophlebitis, that is the inflammation of the portal vein thrombosis, inflammatory type of portal vein thrombosis. You can have liver abscess, since okay, it is the nearby organ. Liver abscess or any other visceral organ can be involved with sepsis, okay, because of bacteremia and septicemia. So that was all about the acute appendicitis. Okay, so very short class. So these terms, okay, two terms apart from that appendicitis, I'll just talk about these two terms, okay, my last slides only. So recurrent appendicitis. Later you might come across this term recurrent. So might be thinking, what is this recurrent appendicitis? Okay, so this recurrent appendicitis is defined when patient with recurring similar right iliac fossa pain. I told you the pain could be due to anything, any cause. Okay, sometimes we might be having pain for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and it just goes off. Okay, we don't care many times. So it might be appendicitis pain or might be due to some other cause. So recurring pain, okay, more than single time in the same site, right iliac fossa, okay, and and in this present time, if it has the features of acute appendicitis, which is confirmed at the time of surgery and by the histopathological examination, okay, and if the pain completely subsided or if the pain completely disappears after surgery, we call it as recurrent appendicitis. Okay, appendicitis type of pain is there. Number of times you don't know the cause, could be appendicitis, could not be appendicitis, okay, but at the time of surgery it looks like appendicitis, and if there is no pain after the surgery, we label that type of pain as pain which is due to recurrent appendicitis. I hope you understood this. Okay, this is just the extra thing, okay, I'm telling you, because when you talk about appendicitis, sometimes its report may come as recurrent appendicitis, and you should be aware of these terminologies. Another is chronic appendicitis, okay, though we don't use this terminology very often, okay, it is defined when the appendicitis lasts for more than a week. If it is there for a week, that appendicitis type of pain, okay, we don't do surgery. This it is an inflammatory reaction, so already lymphoid hypoplasia will be there, all those inflammation, fibrosis will be there. So if pain is there, patient के हुन्छ एक हप्ताको हिस्ट्री लिएर आयो appendicitisको pain भने, usually surgeons, they don't do the surgery. If you have a pain since last night and if it looks like appendicitis, you do the surgery today, okay? But if the patient is coming to you with long history, 10 days go, 12 days go, 7 days go, appendicitis go pain layer, if the patient has landed up in the hospital, we usually postpone the surgery. We term it as chronic appendicitis, and we call the patient later after 4 weeks, after 6 weeks, okay, for interval surgery. We call it as interval appendicectomy, okay, and that time only we go for the surgery, because to avoid the complication which has occurred because of the inflammation in the peritoneum, in and around the appendix, appendicitis, all those periappendicular region. Okay, so that ends today's class. Very simple class, but very important from your point of view as a medical person. Okay, may not be very important in the exam. Very easy. So how was it? I think all it was audible throughout the class. PowerPoint पनि